sueño, ¿verdad?
Sueño americano.
In search of the American dream.
I come to America like everyone, an asylum seeker, because of the facts in my country. Everything there is terrible.
Migrants putting their lives at risk, escaping a world of harm and danger back home.
We all want to stay in America.
An emotional journey filled with hope and fear.
I know the situation. I know that it's tough. Literally, like New York City is like tough, but it's also difficult because we're struggling over here.
The crisis at the border, spreading here to New York City. Vox 5 presents Migrants in America, in their own words.
I'm Stephanie Bertini. New York City is in the midst of an unprecedented migrant crisis. Asylum seekers are making their way here in record numbers. During the next 30 minutes, we explore the reality of what's going on at home and abroad. Let's begin with their plight and their fight for a better life.
Claro, Nueva York.
Por misión.
Hay muchas cosas feas. Las personas se morían de hambre.
Since spring of 2022, around 200,000 migrants and asylum seekers have come to New York City, mostly on buses, airplanes, or trains. They've been given food, medical attention, and shelter, and they continue to arrive daily.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. There's obviously that romantic expectation that New York is going to be a hub for your dreams.
A lot of these migrants come from incredibly unstable situations where you're not even sure that you will going to see another day.
The human smuggling network that leads to Mexico and into the United States is dangerous and daring, often including other countries.
I crossed the border by smuggling, like pretty much like every single person here.
According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, smuggled migrants are often put at risk. Migrants have suffocated in containers, perished in deserts, or drowned at sea. New York City is a sanctuary city, meaning federal immigration laws are not enforced locally. Also, New York City's right to shelter mandate requires officials to provide a bed to anyone who needs one. But the city has said we are at capacity, the mayor even asking a judge to suspend the mandate. For now, restrictions are in place on shelter stays, 30 days for singles and 60 days for families. More than 200 emergency shelters have opened since last spring. The Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown functioning as the official intake center for new arrivals, as seen here in this exclusive Fox 5 interview.
All asylum seekers coming into New York City each day will come through that same doorway there.
Initially, the mayor welcomed the new arrivals, but as the pressure on resources grew, his tone changed. At one point, he even traveled to Latin America to discourage asylum seekers from coming. But the numbers continue to climb, and so the city's restrictions are getting tighter, like a recent executive order that puts limits on when and how migrants can be dropped off in buses.
The federal government must step up and step in. This is a national crisis that calls for a national solution.
Now, the busing battle. It was 2022 when the governor of Texas started sending migrants to New York City. Today, Mayor Adams cracking down with new restrictions on when and how. I was the first reporter on the ground as a group of migrants were dropped off in New Jersey. Secaucus Junction Station in the middle of the night. A charter bus from Texas pulls up. We watch as New Jersey Transit Police connect with two men, the bus driver and his partner. Within minutes, women, men, and children emerge.
¿Cómo te sientas?
Muy bien.
How are you feeling? I asked. Very good, a little tired, but good, he replied, clearly wearing relief all over his face. He's been traveling for
3 meses.
3 months, he said. His journey is almost complete. The final destination will be,
Claro, Nueva York.
of course, New York. In this group, people from all different countries, united by an American dream they would do almost anything for. For countless migrants and asylum seekers, New York City is the epitome of that American dream.
Yo, Elsie.
I asked this woman how long she's been waiting for this all to come together.
Mucho tiempo.
A long time, she said. Her joy impossible to ignore. Also staring us in the face, the tears that come when words are too hard to find. This young man says he drove from New York City to pick up his extended family here in New Jersey. They're all from Venezuela.
I just thank God that they made it.
The majority of them don't have anyone waiting to pick them up, so they walk inside the station with the few things they own. We watch as they wait for a train ticket to New York City. Sources tell Fox 5 News the tickets were purchased for them. The men who brought them from Texas wouldn't talk, but once they left, we got on that train with the migrants. Destination Penn Station. From anxious to overjoyed. They're clearly carrying a lot of emotions. This is all for my children, says this mother of 3. That they can grow calmly, that they can have stability, that they can study, come and go. Things that can't happen in my country. Her youngest in her arms is just 1 year old. They've been traveling for months.
Nosotros venimos Venezuela.
We came from Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico. And then they crossed the border into the United States.
Pero hay bastante miedo.
Fear, a lot of fear. When you're traveling, you're scared.
Más que todo con la ayuda de los familiares.
Everything with the help of family and friends, because without directions, without anything, here you can't make it. She and the others got to Penn Station, a quick train ride into New York City, allowing them to successfully make their way through a loophole in an executive order issued by Mayor Adams in December 2023, putting restrictions on bus drop-offs, limiting them to Monday to Friday from 8:30 to noon. Waiting to meet them, activist Power Malou.
We as human beings have to step up and as New Yorkers and represent New York in the right way, and it is a sanctuary city, and that's what we're doing.
The immigration process is a long and complicated road that may or may not lead to permanent status. As I found out, for many, that means camping out and waiting for hours outside ICE headquarters here in Manhattan. Lining this sidewalk on any given night, people from different parts of the world who want nothing more than a life in America. I came to register at immigration, says this man from Guinea, West Africa. He's been in New York City for only 2 weeks, he says, telling us after traveling through several countries guided by the human smugglers he paid, he crossed the border illegally from Mexico into the United States. Here, he hopes to be granted asylum. He says poverty, danger, and social unrest in his country forced him out. He was in fear of losing my life in Africa, he says. We met him on a Sunday night in November in a sea of migrants and asylum seekers, all of them outside the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office in Lower Manhattan, where we've learned that even with an appointment, being seen is not guaranteed. This line is always here, says this asylum seeker from Ecuador, telling us it's well known in the migrant community that the demand on the New York City ICE office exceeds the number of people that can be seen daily. About 500 people go in daily. That's why there's this line. Not everyone can enter, he says. So no matter the weather, they wait and sleep outside in an attempt to ensure they will get into the ICE office in the morning. This line along the sidewalk is indicative of just how many migrants and asylum seekers are in New York City and what they're willing to endure. In this line, there doesn't exist a bathroom, he says. No bathrooms, and for many of them, no familiar faces.
Are you family, friends?
No. Okay. We are strangers.
Where are you guys from?
We are from China.
You're all from China?
Yeah.
ICE there.
You have to go to ICE?
Yeah.
These asylum seekers from India tell me the life they left behind
India is dangerous.
is much more complicated than their main challenge on this night.
Cold. Yeah, cold.
You're feeling cold?
Yeah.
Blankets and cardboard boxes provide some relief from the cold overnight, but clearly this is far from ideal.
You can see they're doing what they can to keep warm, and if you take a closer look, you'll notice they're doing what they can to comfort one another, and that's whether they know each other or not.
On this Friday morning in November, we found a lot of people eager and ready for the doors to open. But before 10 a.m., they were told it was closed for the day.
No es fácil.
It's not easy, says this man from Venezuela. Clearly, at a breaking point. I left the country thinking everything is easy, but the situation is not how one thinks of it. You are by yourself here. Coming up.
They're gonna literally kick us out in 60 days.
And you got kicked out?
Yes.
Then, I know that at any moment they can send me back to my country because I am illegal here. My fear is there, but I am a strong woman. And later, when this Fox 5 special, Migrants in America in Their Own Words, returns. He's worried about the future.
I don't want to end up like a lot of homeless people.
We found this man standing outside the Roosevelt Hotel with his belongings on the sidewalk. It's a familiar place he first went to when he arrived to New York City. The Roosevelt Hotel is the official intake center for asylum seekers in New York City.
The Roosevelt sent us to a shelter in Brooklyn, and we stayed there like for almost 3 months. They moved us in another shelter and make us to sign a letter that they're gonna literally kick us out in 60 days.
And you got kicked out?
Yes, tonight, fortunately. And I know the situation. I know that it's tough. Literally, like New York City is like dealing with a lot of stuff, but it's also difficult because we're struggling over here.
Where are you from?
I'm from a country in Africa.
Following the lead of countless others, he crossed the U.S.-Mexico border into the United States in pursuit of a better life.
I crossed the border by smuggling, like pretty much like every single person here.
He paid those human smugglers everything he had and more.
Every single penny, everything. Actually, you had to borrow some money from others, from like my relatives. We suffered over there a lot.
As a single young man in his 20s, he was willing to risk it all for freedom.
To save myself from those monsters in my country, basically.
Across town, I met a Venezuelan family facing a similar situation. They're staying at the Row Hotel in Hell's Kitchen, and their time here is coming to an end. 53, he says, explaining how many days they have left until they have to leave. A little worried, he tells us, as he thinks about all the uncertainty they're facing. But as he thinks about the long term, all you see is hope. My future, good things for my children, stability and tranquility, he says. I got out of Venezuela from Colombia, he says, telling us they went through 8 countries before crossing the U.S.-Mexico border into Texas. Touching American soil was the goal, he explains, but the destination was always New York City. It is faith, determination, and the push for a better life that fuels migrants and asylum seekers to fight for what so many of them explain in one short phrase: the American dream. Still ahead, making it in America. If they give me construction, I will do construction. If they ask me to clean, I will clean. Wherever they give me work in the mornings, I go. And in the night, I am here. This woman still hasn't lost sight of the dream, almost 30 years later. Welcome back. Women supporting women. It's the purpose and the passion of a migrant mother who started sewing classes out of a small bookstore in Brooklyn. And as you'll see, she's sowing the seeds of hope, one stitch at a time.
Hi, my name is Sonia Castro-John, and I am an immigrant for 25 years.
The English she now speaks evidence of her time here. Her pride comes from a place of survival. And the sewing is part of the story, then and now. From when I was a girl, I was working as a seamstress. When I immigrated to this country, I thought I would find work like that as a seamstress. But when I came here, the situation turned out different, she says. Sonia Castrejon was 19 years old when she left Mexico and crossed the border illegally. In the town where I lived, you heard people saying there are those who will bring you here, she tells us, referring to the human smugglers who she says she paid to get to the United States. A lot of danger Danger is how she describes the journey. She says it was poverty that pushed her out of Mexico. She came to the United States in search of
un mañana mejor.
a better tomorrow, she says. What she didn't expect were the challenges that come with what was and still is her reality.
Yo no soy legal.
I am not legal, she says, describing her immigration status in the United States. In order to survive, she quickly learned that any job is better than no job. And that's how she says she's making it, raising children, her oldest now 21, and her youngest 11, who can already sew quite well.
Yo me dan en construcción.
If they give me construction, I will do construction. If they ask me to clean, I will clean. Wherever they give me work in the mornings, I go. And in the night, I am here.
Y en las noches aquí.
Here is where she operates La Michoacana. Her small sewing business gets its name from Michoacan, Mexico, where her family is from.
Me permitieron entrar aquí.
They allowed me to do it here, she says. At this point, she's an expert at working around barriers. She pays a little rent and operates out of this small Brooklyn bookstore after hours. Creating garments and doing alterations for her clients brings in some money. But that's not all she does here. She also helps other women like her.
Enseñarles a coser.
Teaching them how to sew, she says, so
Después en un futuro.
in the future they can work.
Me siento en familia con Sonia.
I feel like I am family with Sonia. Coming to these classes, one disconnects from the problems and life outside. As these women look at the surge of migrants coming to New York City now after crossing the border illegally, they understand what drives them.
Si yo a veces llego a llorar.
If at times I cry for what I went through, to me, it's for everyone, because we are all going through the same thing.
Yo sé que en cualquier momento.
I know that at any moment they can send me back to my country because I am illegal here. My fear is there, but I am a strong woman, and she hopes one day her main goal in America will be achieved. My papers, she says. Next, turning dreams into reality.
Yaca venezolana, producto venezolano, se vende en Nueva York, nada más y nada menos, producto calidad.
This migrant holding hope in his hands.
Success doesn't come without struggle. Many migrants come here with the same goal in mind, to build a better life for themselves and their families. For one man I met recently, the search for the American dream is in his hands.
Hard at work on the streets of Manhattan. Dennis Rico sells homemade arepas and other authentic Venezuelan dishes. He starts his day at 7 a.m., cooking for hours. I am preparing in a kitchen that a friend rented who has like 8 years in this city, he says, and then he heads out. I leave with my little cart like you see here to sell. He says he sells long after sunset. Per day, it's like $100 or $120, he says, telling us the cash money is much better than nothing. It's practical because I don't have legal documents, he says, referring to work papers. He came to America with his wife and daughter in pursuit of a better life. They left Venezuela and, like many others, are seeking asylum in the United States. Their decision to leave was based on survival. It's a reality that's very hard and complicated. An economic situation that is brutal, catastrophic, he says, as he describes the life he left behind in a nation that has long been plagued with poverty, political turmoil, and other dangers. It hurts me a lot to be out of Venezuela, he admits. But instead of focusing on how that feels, he chooses to wear a smile and sell the food he loves. Many of his customers, he says, are other migrants who embrace the taste of home. Other migrants that are Venezuelan that are in the area, he says. Right now, Denise lives in one of the more than 200 emergency shelters the city has established during the migrant crisis that started last spring. A migrant's life is very hard, he says, as he reflects on all the uncertainty settling in America after crossing the border illegally brings. An experience, honestly, that is very hard, but it makes you reflect, he says, as he holds on to the hope that things will be so much better in the long run. For my future, I am not worried, because if you are constructing it by yourself, your future will be progressive and good. It will be guaranteed. As officials Officials contend with an overload of migrants and asylum seekers in New York City. Resources are running thin. He knows the help he's getting for now, with shelter, for example, will eventually run out. And by now, he's realized how expensive and tough New York City can be. I feel worried, but there's no point in being worried, he says. And so he's focused on his version of the American dream here in New York City, using the food that reminds him of home to build a bridge into the future he's fighting for. And in the future, he says he hopes
Es tener una arepera.
to have an arepa store.
The battle at the border is more than just politics. It's the struggle for many to achieve the kind of life Americans are born into. It's the search for the American dream many migrants and asylum seekers believe they will find here. Until next time, I'm Stephanie Bertini.